Welcome to Chapter 3, Countable versus Uncountable Nouns. In this lesson, we'll learn the difference between nouns we can count and those we can't. Countable nouns are nouns you can count individually, like apple or car. They usually have singular and plural forms. Examples of countable nouns include items like apple, book, and dog. We can say 1 apple, 2 apples, or 3 apples. Uncountable nouns refer to things that we don't count individually, like water or music. They don't usually have plural forms. Examples of uncountable nouns are words like water, sugar, and knowledge. We don't say a water or 2 sugars. The main difference is simple. If you can count it, it's a countable noun. If you can't, it's uncountable. With singular countable nouns, we use a or an, for example, an apple or a book. Since we can't count uncountable nouns, we use quantifiers like some, much, or a lot of. For example, some water or much knowledge. Countable nouns have both singular and plural forms like apple and apples, while uncountable nouns typically don't. In the sentence, I have 3 apples. Apples is a countable noun because we can count them. In the sentence, there is some water in the glass. Water is an uncountable noun. We don't count water. Instead, we measure it. Let's try a practice activity. Which of these words are countable? Apple, bread, music, dog. Take a moment to think. The countable nouns are apple and dog. The uncountable nouns are bread and music. Did you know some nouns can be both countable and uncountable? Depending on the context, let's look at examples. For example, chocolate can be countable if we're talking about individual pieces like a chocolate, or uncountable if we mean the substance like some chocolate. Keep in mind that what is uncountable in one language may not be the same in another. For example, furniture is uncountable in English but might be countable in other languages. In this practice, choose the right quantifier for each sentence. Can I have blank water? Or, there are blank apples on the table. The correct answers are some water and 3 apples. To summarize, countable nouns are things we can count, like book or dog, and they have singular and plural forms. Uncountable nouns are things we can't count, like sugar or information. We use quantifiers with these nouns. For example, we say many books for countable nouns, but much information for uncountable nouns. Here's a simple tip. If you can count it, it's countable. If you can't, it's uncountable. Here's an example. I bought 2 oranges and some milk. Oranges is countable, and milk is uncountable. Fantastic work! Now that you know all about countable and uncountable nouns, we're ready to learn about articles in the next chapter. Let's keep going.